What's up, you guys? It's your boy Trey. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, awesome, and amazing, blessed day. I hope your week was awesome. We are back at it again with another thought-provoking, life-changing, motivating video. Nah, I'm playing with y'all. But man, I just want to get into shade, man. I'm really thankful for everyone that's tuning in. I'm really thankful for all you guys that really take the time out to really watch and to share and to like it really means a lot to me. I really appreciate the support, man, for real, and I'm extremely thankful. And man, y'all continue to stay tuned because I got some more dope stuff coming up, man. That the most I play will be placing upon my heart to share. But this week, I do want to share what the most has really been sharing with me personally on my spiritual journey. And that is, in my walk, and that is man, like, why it's so important to take control of your thought life, because your thought life is something, man, it's so important. It is so important, man, because a lot of us, including myself, are reactive instead of proactive in life. A lot of us may be upset that, an unforeseen misfortune may have came, and, it affects, how we feel, or, it affects how we react towards the situation, whether we learn from it or, be bitter about it, or X, Y, and Z, you feel me? And the Most High has really been showing me that mind is our greatest asset. Our mind is the most powerful thing that we have, man. Like, without mind, like, the possibilities are limitless. You feel me? And it's like, once we know practical ways and how to have a healthy and balanced thought life, how to mind our mind, we'll be unstoppable in life. You know what I mean? And how can we get our minds to, imagine, to think, to dream, to visualize, to innovate, to motivate at its highest and most beautiful capacity, is to have our minds focused towards our Creator. Have our minds focused towards God, because God gave us our mind. So imagine how great God's mind is. If we're able to make all this stuff as mankind, just imagine how great God's mind is, man. And I'm just telling you, like, it's such a beautiful thing how we're designed, how we're created, and more importantly, how good our God is, man. Because the Most High, He's amazing. He's awesome. He's inspiring. He's exasperating. He's just awesome. He is just amazing beyond human belief. He's merciful. He's compassionate. He's loving. He's encouraging. He's inspirational. He's humble. He's understanding. He's just, man, I'm telling you, like, it's like our Creator is so amazing, and the fact that He is sharing with us, and there's like so many instances and so many examples and substance that we could draw from on how He's showing us how to manage our mind, is just truly, truly a beautiful thing, and that's something I really want to share with you guys, man. I was reading a book. Where is it at? Oh, I don't have it on me, but I was reading a book called "You Are What You Think" by David Stoop. And it is a really, really good book. I highly recommend you guys get it, man. It's a must cop, for real. We went from joints to books, y'all. Seeing the glow up is real. But let me stop. But like I was saying, but yeah, man, it's definitely a blessing how how the Most High is using these things and using other people's testimonies, experience to show us how to manage our mind. So in this book today, I was reading how our thought life, basically is the root center of, not only who we are, but how we react to things, man. Like, our thoughts affect our mood affects our actions affect people, and that could either be a good combination or a dangerous combination. You know what I'm saying? You pick your curry or we pick our poison. You feel me? But what I mean by that is a lot of us are reactive, which leads to negative consequences, or you know what I mean? What like outcomes, as opposed to us being proactive. And this is something that I am learning myself, because us growing up, especially us in the education school system family, like we weren't taught how to be proactive in life. No one taught us these things. Like we have to discover these things for ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's like, and I feel that's the beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about our journey, man. That's the beautiful thing about our lives. You live, you learn, you grow, you gain wisdom from experiences. You know what I mean? Time. You know what I mean? Is all these things are the best teachers, man. But the greatest teacher of them all is the Most High, because He uses all these things for our good and to turn our mess into a message, man, and man, our message into a whole testimony. And when I was reading this book, sorry y'all, got tongue tied, but when I was reading this book, um, it was saying that yeah, our thoughts alter our moods, and like, we're able to quick to be mad about something, or we could be down about something, we could be happy about something, we could be instantly excited about something. You know what I mean? Like these things really play a huge part. It's kind of like, our mind is a very unique thing. It's like, we consist of subcells. As like our subcells is like certain attributes about who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Like you may have, a subcell called the inner critic. Like how we could be hard on ourselves. Like, you know what? I don't like this word. You could have done way better than that. You could have gotten an A plus plus instead of an A plus. You could have gotten an S instead of an A plus. Do you feel me? Or, we have the perfectionist. How we feel like we can't make certain mistakes. We everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be right. And we beat ourselves up. Our whole world comes tumbling down when things don't go according to plan. Or we have the magician. How it kind of minimizes our problems. Like, oh, I didn't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like just kind of brush off reality for what it is. Like, may have had a missing payment on something, but you know what? It's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. Oh, I may be, you know, over a certain amount of money in loans. You know what? Hey, it's not a. They say they're gonna take me to court. Hey, it's not a big deal. Hey, we'll tend to that. Or the procrastinator. The procrastinator and magician can even be best friends for the procrastinator. I'll do it later. I'll do it this. You know what I mean? Oh, let's just watch some TV. Let's go out for a walk before. You know what I mean? Before we'll tend to that later. Like, and these things is like what makes us who we are, and that just kind of shows you like the intricacy and the complexity of our mind, like how we have so many sides and so many angles and shades of who we are as an individual. And the Most High is showing me that once we, link in with who He created us to be, who we really are, and let us use our minds to the best of our, to the best ability, is when we really have a healthy thought life, a stable life, and you'll be more balanced as a person. So, in this book that I was reading, it was kind of saying that yeah, our thoughts are responsible for our emotions, you know what I'm saying, or our reactions, and it's not necessarily the circumstance within itself. And I'm gonna give you an example. So let's say, you call somebody, and if they didn't pick up the phone, our automatic reaction would be automatically upset, depending on who it is and the significance of that person in our lives. Like, let's say it's a spouse or a parent or a close friend, and you really needed them. You'd be upset, like, oh, like, how come they answer the phone? Apparently they got something more important to do than to talk to me. Oh, so they see me calling them, but they choose not to answer. Like, what can they be up to? Worst case scenario, or they probably cheating. Depends on who that person is to us. Or, it is not, or, let me pause that one for a second before I bring that out. Or we could be like, you know what? That person's really busy right now, they just haven't seen my call. Or maybe they seen my call and they just couldn't answer the phone. You know what? Even though they didn't answer, I know that they're going to call me back. There's no sweat, no big deal. These things are not particularly based on, because they didn't answer the phone. It's based on our thoughts, right? So I'm going to give you guys a set line of examples. So we have A, which is the circumstance, and then you have C, which is our reaction. you know? So A, circumstance, A, they didn't answer the phone. I'm upset. What could they possibly be doing? What is more important than picking up the phone when I'm calling you? You know what I'm saying? Or C, you know what? It's not a big deal. Like, you know, they're probably busy right now. I know they're gonna call me back. You know what I mean? And like that's I feel like a lot of us coming up, like we were kind of based around that. Like, you know what I mean? Like if something were to happen, I feel like we're a lot of us, including myself at one point, we're quick to jump to assumptions. You know what I'm saying? Or we're quick to, we're quick to, come with a bunch of stuff in our minds, and you know, I feel like that is also a disservice to us, and that's just a prime example of reactive instead of proactive. But back to the chart that I just made with my two hands here. We have the A, that we are A, the circumstance, and then C, our reaction. But we know that in the alphabet there's A, B, C. So we have A, circumstance, C, reaction, but in the middle we have B, which is our belief system, which is responsible for C. You have the A, circumstance, you have the B, belief system, and then you have C, our reaction, And that's the thing. It's not necessarily what that person's done, it's what we tell ourselves, our self-talk. Your thoughts is your self-talk. What you think towards yourself, what you're thinking in your mind is your self-talk, whether it be positive or whether it be negative. You know what I mean? Like, these things is basically the whole breakdown foundation of why we react the way we react, or why we come off the way we come off, why we feel the way we feel, and why we think the way we think. How we perceive reality is based on our belief system, and this is what this book was showing me, and it's definitely really interesting learning about that, man. Learning about, how to balance the thought life, and learning about what reactive and proactive really looks like on a day-to-day basis, and practical steps on how to go about it. You know what I mean? So it's just really interesting, man. So what can we do? What can we do to have that positive self-talk? What can we do to, turn from being reactive to proactive? And that is, even though it's simple, it really is simple. And not only is it simple, it really comes in handy. And it's something that I myself am starting to practice, and I definitely really do think that it's really helpful, and it definitely does take practice. It's not an overnight thing, because trust me, I myself am in the works with this, and it's learning how to change your thoughts is no walk in the park. You feel me? It's not. So some practical ways that you can, really go about this is start getting into the habit of practicing positive self-talk. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. Let's say I'm watching the news, and they're saying that coronavirus cases climb up to about 74,000, right? And they're talking about second lockdown. My initial thought would be, oh, are they going to do another lockdown? What if this affects our economy? What if there's an economic collapse? All this uncertainty. What if the grocery stores are empty again? And as opposed to doing that, what I would do now is I would hold on to the promises of God. Because I know that in our world, everything is not perfect, as we can see in 2020. But, everything is not perfect. This world is broken. There's always something going on. And we just can't rely on this. Or we just can't rely on us. We just can't rely on this world. We can't rely on people, our officials, whoever is in charge. We can't even rely on ourselves. Because people, including ourselves, will fail ourselves, and we're not reliable, and we're not 100% sustainable. So this is where God comes in. I hold on to the promises of God. Isaiah 41:10, He will never leave you, He'll never forsake you, be ye strong. Isaiah 26:3, He will keep me in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. You know, Philippians 4 verse 8, think about things that are loving, think about things that are pure, think about things that are joyous. Like these are one of my healthy, positive self-talk coping skills. Or I bring up a past experience in the past, because me personally, I have experience with mental health. Got tongue tied again. But I have experience with mental health. I've been in the hospital in and out in the past, and you know, I've been a huge victim of overthinking, blowing things out of proportion, you know, man, falling in shambles by just thinking hypothetical situations in my mind. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, that don't affect me today, because if I were to think about assumptions, obviously it would affect me, you know, like it would anybody. And that's the thing. And this is why practicing these things, and you know, us coming to the realization that like this type of way of thinking is not, it's not healthy for us. I came to the conclusion that this type of way of thinking was not healthy for me. So this is why I asked God to help me, you know, with my thought life, to help me with thinking the right thoughts, thinking positive thoughts, instead of getting lost in my mind, you know what I mean? Or just my blowing things out of proportion, jumping to assumptions, or just getting lost in the what ifs. Like, what if this doesn't work out? What if the plans fail? Like, what if that would have happened? What would I do if that, what if, like, and it's just like, it's just not healthy, you know? Causes unnecessary anxiety, you know, it causes stress on your mind, the brain. It could even put you in depression. And I've experienced all three. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm so serious and I'm so adamant about seeking the will of God in terms of how to master the mind. Because I want to master the mind to its best potential. I know it's not gonna be a walk in the park. I know it's not gonna be overnight, especially for someone that has a mental illness history like myself. But I know that that route right there is well worth it. It's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Would you rather be a victim? Would you rather live with this? Or would you rather change it for the better? Would you rather take a step out? Would you rather go that extra mile? You know? To change your thought life, because it's possible. It is 110% possible. The world would not be the way it is, as dope as it is, if it wasn't for our minds. We wouldn't have the iPhone. We wouldn't have planes. We wouldn't even have music or TV shows if it wasn't for our mind. Our mind is innovative, man. Our mind is that thing. So to learn how to master this, we'll be unstoppable, bro. Ain't nobody touching us. Ain't nobody touching us. You know? And that's one thing I really want to share with y'all. You know what I mean? A lot of us, including myself, can be reactive to life. But I feel like now, you know, with new year, new vibe, let's start being more proactive. Let's start taking charge of our life. Let's start walking in the awesome plan that God has for us. Let's learn how to master our minds. Let's learn how to really be unbothered for real. You feel me? Let's learn how to be cool and for real. How do we do that? Practicing positive self-talk. Holding on to the promises of the Most High. Talking to God more. Helping Him have you master your mind. You know what I mean? And these are some really important tips. These are some really important tools, because, you know, that's dope. Imagine practicing thinking or focusing on good things that you got going on. Focus on your mental health. Focus on your plan, you know, making plans for the future. You know, focus on, you know, like goals that you want to accomplish this year. Focus on God. Focus on how great He is. Focus on getting to know Him more. Focus on, you know, how His love is eternal. His compassion is everlasting. Focus on knowing that He will help you become your true self. He will help you see yourself the way He made you. Once you fill your mind with stuff like that on a consistent basis, once you start being more intentional, that's when you really start to see the progress. You know? And that progress, it just depends on the person, but it's like, it may not happen overnight, but nothing that's worth it, nothing with long-lasting results happens overnight. You know? We don't want to do ourselves a disservice. You know, we don't want to do ourselves, we don't want to do ourselves, you know, or sell ourselves short by not taking care of our thought life. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I just been learning from personal experience alone. You know, we want to do more. We want to be more. We want to grow. There's people out there that our ideas that God give us can change their lives. There's people that we haven't met yet that need what we have. There's experience for us. You know what I mean? There's experiences for us that we gotta experience. Traveling to a new country, taking this new opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Getting paid the certain. You know what I mean? For a better amount of money from this job that lines more within our profession. You know what I mean? And like there's having a healthy thought life and a healthy mind is just so beautiful that we don't want to miss out on something like that. Like let's say like the whole world turned upside down. To be honest, that wouldn't be far-fetched living in the times that we're living in right now. And imagine having a mind full of happiness, joy, and peace. That's the fruits of the spirit. That's the thoughts that flow from your mind when you put your focus towards God. When you put your focus is what's gonna result in your life. Your focus and your time is what your life is made up of. Is what your thoughts and your mind consist of. It's one of its greatest assets. So let's focus our mind towards something like that. You know what I mean? Here's a really good exercise that I do want to share with you guys, man. I'm gonna close off with this, and this is a prime example to show you practical steps how we can start being proactive instead of reactive in our day-to-day lives. Baby steps lead to big steps, and big steps lead to success. Rings, trophies, in our lives. You know what I'm saying? And this is one I really want to share with y'all. So take your phone, or if you have someone beside you, let them help you in this activity. You guys can do it together. Have your phone, and then set it for 1 minute. Set it for 1 minute. Breathe in, breathe out, clear your mind, take a few. And then when you start that minute timer, think about all the negative things that you can possibly think about. Think about this, get raw, like get uncut. Something that's really gonna get under your skin or grind your gears. Think about that for about a minute. Once the minute stops, see how you feel. You know? Alright, so during the next minute, breathe in, breathe out, clear yourself, erase the drawing board. And then during this minute here, when you set the timer, think about all the good and positive things that you could possibly think of. Dream, get imaginative, go beyond. You know what I mean? Go beyond your limits. With intellect and logic, it can limit us. It could go from point A to point B. Oh, that wouldn't be smart if I forgot about this. But with imagination, it takes us from point A to point Z because it's limitless. We wouldn't have the stuff we have today if it wasn't for imagination. That shows you how powerful the mind is. So during this minute, think about all the positive, all the great things about God, like about yourself that you want for yourself. Think about love. Think about happiness. What does peace look like to you? Go beyond the board. And when that minute is over, see how you feel. See how you feel during the first minute, and then see how you feel during the second minute. And then that is a prime example to show you that our thoughts, our self-talk is responsible for how we feel. And our feelings is responsible for our actions. That can either make us or break us. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I do. That's one practice I do want to share with y'all. I find this extremely helpful. You know what I mean? And that is a strong evidence to show you that with our mind, we can do anything. We can do anything. It could be our greatest asset, or it could be our biggest enemy. Let's choose the first option. You know what I mean? But that's one thing I really want to share with y'all, man. You know, just let's start today. Let's start today to embrace who God made us to be. Let's start to think positive. Let's start to think good. Let's start to think right. Let's start to practice positive self-talk, because once you start thinking healthy thoughts, that is the greatest form of self-love that you can ever give yourself. For real. Because let's say when stuff hits the fan, or when there's rain on the parade, instead of crying, instead of being a victim, you know, instead of being bitter, let's choose the alternative. That could not only can help us glow up, but can save our lives. And that's our thoughts and our positive self-talk. That's one thing I want to share with you guys today. It's your boy Trey. Thank you so much. I know I've been rambling, but I really do appreciate you guys sticking through and watching this video through and through. This is raw, this is uncut. So please like this video. Please share this video. Please subscribe. Please put a friend. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. All feedback is welcome. Once again, it's your boy Shay. Have a wonderful day. Much love to you all, and be easy.